The deep dive. Today, we're looking into something really unsettling, actually. It's a story one of you shared, a listener's account of this creepy local legend.
Right, and it gets even more interesting because there was apparently some uh, evidence found years later that sort of backs it up in a way.
Exactly. We're talking about how a personal story can become this lasting community thing and how it might connect to other strange reports, even some really disturbing disappearances.
It's a fascinating process, really.
Okay, so picture this. You're out on those long, empty highways in 1960s New Mexico. You know, that stretch between Albuquerque and Tucumcari, super isolated.
Right, not much out there, especially back then.
And late one night, these two sisters, Freida and Ruth, they're driving along. Should have been simple, right? But what they ran into was, well, anything but ordinary.
This wasn't just like car trouble. It sounds like a direct, really weird encounter, something that definitely stuck with people.
Totally. The main event, a terrifying run-in with this very strange vehicle. Get this, a pink hearse.
A pink hearse. Wow.
Yeah, I know. And it wasn't just sitting there. It apparently played this sinister kind of game with them out on that empty road. And the key thing is this comes from a true account, which gives it this creepy edge.
That personal element makes all the difference.
So our mission today is to unpack all that. The sisters' experience, the investigation someone did later, and what it all might mean. It gets pretty chilling. Okay, let's dive in.
So the setup is important. You've got Freida and Ruth, the sisters, and they're on this maiden voyage, basically, in a car they just got.
Right. A 1960 Plymouth Fury. They got it from a government surplus auction, apparently. Big car.
A big car, yeah. Kind of represents something, doesn't it? Freedom, the open road.
Yeah.
Especially back then.
Absolutely. It's this symbol, and they're heading out onto this incredibly empty highway, just vast stretches of nothing, maybe no moon, quiet. You can almost feel that isolation, can't you?
Oh, definitely. And that kind of setting, that deep quiet and isolation, it really amplifies anything unusual that happens. Well, when it's that quiet and, supposedly safe, any kind of intrusion feels way more jarring, more memorable. It tapped into that basic fear of the unknown when help feels miles away.
Makes sense. So the intrusion starts with headlights appearing fast, like really fast from behind them. The account actually says unnaturally fast.
See? That unnatural speed, right away it throws you off. It breaks the rules of how things should work, especially out there.
Yeah, it suggests something's wrong, something not quite normal.
Exactly. It puts them on edge immediately. Hints that this isn't just another car.
And then the vehicle pulls up, and it's not a car or a truck. It's this long, low hearse, but painted, like we said, dusty pink.
Pink. That's the detail that really grabs you, isn't it?
It's so bizarre. Why pink on a hearse? What's the effect of that?
Well, it's a total contradiction, right? Hearses mean death, solemnity, usually dark colors. Pink is, well, it's the opposite. It creates this immediate clash, this feeling that something is fundamentally off, maybe even perverse.
Yeah, perverse is a good word. It's disturbing because it doesn't fit.
Makes it incredibly memorable, too.
And the description mentions gleaming chrome against the faded pink. Another weird detail, like a flash of something else.
That contrast, yeah. It could suggest maybe some kind of weird pride in it, or it just highlights how truly bizarre the whole thing looked. Makes it even more unsettling somehow.
Okay, so it doesn't just pass them. This is where it gets really creepy. The hearse pulls alongside and just stays there, matches their speed.
See, that's deliberate. That's not just driving. It means they were the focus.
Right. It implies intent, like I'm paying attention to you, creates this sustained threat, this feeling of being watched.
Very unnerving.
And then they get a look at the driver. The description is chilling. Pale, almost gray skin, hollow, deep-set eyes, gaunt, skeletal face, and just no expression at all.
Wow. That lack of expression is deeply unsettling. We rely on faces to read intentions, right? When there's nothing there, it's terrifying. And the skeletal look, it just screams death, the uncanny, less human, more something else.
Something dreadful, yeah. And then there's the back of the hearse. The curtains were wide open.
Oh, wow.
And the sisters felt like they were being watched from inside, from that darkness.
That open space, the not knowing what's inside, that plays right into our deepest fears. The unseen observer, maybe something waiting. Yeah, that adds a whole other layer of dread.
Then things escalate. The hearse suddenly speeds up, nearly clips their car, like really aggressive.
Yeah.
And then it slows right down again, way down, like it's daring them, taunting them to pass.
So it's a game.
Exactly, a terrifying game. And it repeats, gets more aggressive each time. It feels like pure psychological torment.
That pattern aggression, then slowing it, screams control.
Mm.
Terror tactics. It's
Yeah.
not about getting somewhere. It's about messing with them, making them feel helpless. And the near miss adds that real physical danger.
Now, here's a really strange detail. The second time they managed to get past it, the back curtains were shut tight.
Shut after being open.
Yeah, which makes you wonder who or what was back there and why did the curtains close? And it implies someone or something closed them deliberately. Oh, and crucially, no one was in the passenger seat next to the driver.
Right. That empty seat is important. It isolates the threat. It's just this driver and whatever's hidden in the back. No normal explanation possible.
So Freida, the driver, she understandably just floors it, pushes that big Plymouth Fury as hard as it can go. You can almost feel their panic reading the account, just pure desperation to get away.
And that extreme fear, that reaction, it tells you how real and overwhelming the threat felt to them. It wasn't just weird, it was terrifying. Survival instinct kicked in.
And then, just as dawn starts to break, the first light appearing, the Pink Hearse is just gone.
Gone. How?
Vanished. No taillights fading, no dust cloud, nothing. Like it just blinked out of existence.
Okay, that's the bit that pushes it into legend territory, isn't it? That defiance of logic makes the whole thing feel less real world, more supernatural, or at least completely unexplainable.
Definitely adds to the mystery. So they finally make it to Tucumcari, completely freaked out, obviously, shaken up. But the story emphasizes that Ruth, one of the sisters, never wavered. Until the day she died, she insisted it happened exactly like that.
That consistency over years.
Yeah.
It gives the story weight. It suggests it wasn't just a bad dream or misinterpretation. It was something real and deeply affecting for her.
So the story kind of becomes this family legend, right? But then, years later, a cousin gets interested. He decides he wants to find out if there's any truth to it, starts digging around.
What makes someone do that? Chase down an old family ghost story?
Good question. Maybe just fascination. Or trying to make sense of something that haunted the family, maybe trying to find some proof.
Yeah, a need for grounding, maybe, to connect the story to something tangible, or just a love of local mysteries.
Well, incredibly, he actually finds something in this forgotten junk lot outside some small town, a decrepit hearse, painted pink.
No way, he found a Pink Hearse.
Apparently the Pink Hearse, or one just like it, even wrecked. The color was unmistakable. That's pretty wild, finding a physical piece like that.
That is wild. It connects the story to a real object. Doesn't explain it, but it makes it feel much more grounded. Raises more questions, actually.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
Exactly. But his digging uncovered more, something much darker. He found other reports. At least 13 other women over the years reported encountering a Pink Hearse on that same stretch of highway.
13 others. Okay, so this wasn't just a one-off thing for the sisters.
Not at all. It was a pattern.
A recurring phenomenon. That changes things, doesn't it? It suggests something was actively happening out there for a while.
It gets worse. The most disturbing part. 4 of those women later went missing, vanished without a trace.
Oh, no.
And the only thing connecting their cases. They'd all reported seeing the Pink Hearse shortly before they disappeared.
Wow. Okay, so that links the creepy encounter to actual potential harm, to tragedy. That takes the legend to a whole different, much darker level.
Absolutely. And the story doesn't stop there. Families of the missing women reported strange things afterwards, like nightmares about the hearse, unexplained knocking sounds at night. Some even saw flashes of pink or chrome in their mirrors when driving.
So the unease lingered. Like the event or whatever it was cast this long shadow over the community, especially those affected. It speaks to how fear and that kind of deep uncertainty can just seep into everything when things go unexplained.
And the big question hangs over it all. Who was the driver? What was the deal with the hearse itself? Was it a ghost? Some say maybe a crazed mortician. Or was it something horribly real, like unsolved murders, maybe tied to weird desert rituals? Nobody knows.
And that ambiguity, that lack of a neat answer, that's probably why the legend lasts, isn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, when a story isn't fully explained, people can project their own fears onto it. It adapts. The mystery itself keeps it alive, lets it resonate across different times and anxieties.
That makes sense. And it has lasted. Apparently the legend is still around. People, even today, sometimes claim they've seen it. On those same roads late at night. A flash of pink, maybe?
It really says something about us, doesn't it? That these stories persist. We seem drawn to the unknown, the unexplained.
Yeah.
These tales tap into really old fears, isolation, predators, the maybe supernatural, things that always resonate.
And the account ends with this really stark warning. If you see it, that pink hearse in your mirror, don't slow down, don't stop, just drive, because apparently it doesn't want to pass you. It wants you to follow.
Chilling. Yeah, it's a perfect cautionary tale, isn't it? You see how a disturbing personal experience, especially one with such weird elements like the Pink Hearse, gets woven into local folklore. Mm-hmm. And the connection to missing persons just cements it, makes it something you warn people about.
So just to wrap up this deep dive, we started with Freida and Ruth's absolutely terrifying drive back in the 60s, that encounter with the Pink Hearse. Then we followed their cousin's investigation years later, which amazingly found a physical link, the hearse in the junkyard.
Right, and even more disturbingly, uncovered those other reports, the pattern of encounters.
And that devastating connection to the women who went missing, it really blurs the line, doesn't it, between a spooky family story and something potentially real and sinister.
It's a really powerful example of how personal accounts, local history, and folklore can just twist together. The cousins' discoveries really pushed it beyond just a story they told into this piece of, like, unexplained regional lore. Shows how powerful shared experiences and that search for answers can be.
It really makes you wonder, why do some stories stick around like this for generations? What is it about the unknown that just fascinates us and creeps us out, even when the story sounds totally bizarre? Could there be more to these local legends, these whispers, than we usually think? Something to chew on, maybe, next time you're out on a lonely road late at night. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.